fix the hair, make sure you're in the middle. You know.
Hey, Bickies, how's it going? It's Tara and Fran and Karen Hickey. I always say Karen Hickey rather than just her first name. I feel like a teacher. Anyway, welcome to the Biscuit Box. We are talking to Fran and Karen today about ArtSource. So we're just going to wait a few minutes to let people hop on the live call. If you're new to Biscuit, every Wednesday at 11-ish, or today it's 11:15 to facilitate my two lovely guests today. We talk to creative people doing different things with their work, doing exhibitions, insight into what works for them as business owners. We do a lot of workshops, and I discuss a lot of strategy stuff with you guys on Wednesdays as well. And I really would like to position this live stream every Wednesday as a no bullshit channel. This is where you get real information that works, and you get a real insight into creative minds and what they really think about things, not what they think they should say. It's all about real and transparency and honesty, and I'm a huge advocate for that in business. And I think the more of that, the happier the world will be. Okay, so on that note, if you're enjoying the Biscuit Box every Wednesday and you want to get notified of when we go live, you can subscribe to the channel if you just type 7 in the comments below this live stream, or the replay. If you're watching the replay, then we'll let you know when we go live every Wednesday. So you don't have to think about it. We'll do the hard work for you. So I'm happy that you're here. If you want to let me know in the comments if you can hear and see us, that would be amazing. There's a few comments in there, so that's great. Oh, hi, Azreen. How's it going? Hey, Angela, how's it going? Be careful in that car, girl. So we're going to kick off today's show, and we're going to talk about ArtSource. If you're not familiar with ArtSource, it is Ireland's premier art show. It's an annual art show in the RDS in Dublin, and it happens over a 3-day period. Well, actually 3.5 days, because there's like an opening night on the Thursday. And Karen and Fran are from the Biscuit community, and it was their first time doing ArtSource, and a lot of us have been following really closely these girls' journey to get them to ArtSource, and they're both factory members as well, so we've been working closely with them over there, and the excitement was just, I mean, skyrocketed last week. Like, I felt like a mom waiting for leaving cert results for my children. It was, oh, how are they getting on? Oh my God. It was just amazing. Just the excitement, the support from the Biscuit community for these girls, and for Miriam and Jean as well, who can't be here today, was just really inspirational and heartfelt, and it was just so lovely to be a part of that. So we're going to dive in and we're going to talk to the girls. I'd like to maybe talk to Karen first today, and just ask Karen to give us an insight into ArtSource, like what it felt like, what were the huge takeaways, and is she going to do ArtSource next year? That's a big question everyone wants to know. So Karen, how did you get on?
Okay, well, the answer to your last part there is yes, I will definitely be doing ArtSource next year. For me, it went really well. Between networking and, you know, just exposure. From that point of view, I also made sales, which was a major bonus. And, you know, this morning I had 2 queries on other pieces as well that people were aware of at the show, and they've come back to see can they purchase them subsequently. So in general, it's been, I mean, there was a huge build-up. I had to obviously have a major plan in place. And a few things I suppose that I took away from it was, I think, looking at the gallery owners, the galleries there, they were so professional. I think I would nearly hire a van instead of me, my dad and Brian, you know, traipsing across with 3 cars trying to fit everything in. So that would be one thing, maybe just on the practical side, just better maybe at packaging, storage, and transport. So that would be on the practical end. I mean, I was on the stand the whole time myself. I wanted to be. I kind of maybe it was over the top because my first year, but I didn't want to miss a sale. It's very tiring. And I had my husband in on Sunday afternoon, and it was a great relief actually just having him there. So I would advise just having someone around. I didn't, he could take some up payments, and he was also able to haggle. So he was 100%. He may as well have been me on the stand because he knew the work as well as I do practically. So I would definitely have him on board. For as much as possible next year. So then a lot of chat. There's a lot of people that chat and take up a lot of your time as well, which is lovely. But you kind of want to make sure that you're steering the conversation in the right direction. Look, it's not all about sales, obviously, but when you find that someone is rambling on about their heating system, or I had an offer from a man to pose for me naked, so that was yay. I know. So you just meet everybody. It's mental. But I loved every minute of it, and I'm still coming down off the high because it was brilliant. When I went in on the Wednesday night to hang everything up, I was actually shaking. Like, it sounds really silly, but I was really nervous. But once I got into the swing of it, I loved every minute of it, and I definitely would do it again. And I am doing it again.
You are going to do it again. Well, I think a lot of people will be delighted you're saying that, Karen. And it was just so great to see all your work in one place and you in front of your work. And I think that's something that's so special about these things, that you can actually meet the creative behind the work. And it's lovely that you wanted to be there. It's kind of like minding your children, that I can't leave them. What happens if someone takes one away while I'm gone? It must be like that, does it?
In a way, I suppose, I was probably overprotective. But like that, I just didn't want to miss an opportunity.
Yeah, of course. That's normal.
Well, that's it. I mean, there were interior designers there having a good look, and so and then people have kind of been in touch on Facebook and said they loved blah blah blah. So you just don't really know who's looking. Sometimes you don't find out until afterwards who actually saw the stuff. They might get in touch afterwards. So this is a big part of it as well, which I knew would probably happen, but the last day or two, there's been lots of messages and people getting in touch. So I need to get all this stuff now onto my website and get it ready for sale. So that's the next kind of task, really. But Tara,
but just on that note as well, Karen, I think that's a really important point that you just made. It's the aftermath of a show like this. That is really where you can close a lot of sales and follow up with people that have shown interest in your work. And it's so important. And you know that I bang on about this with you a lot in the factory, but it's so important to have a website, to have somewhere to send people, especially from doing exhibitions and shows, and even fairs or Christmas markets. People come to browse, and then if you're not online, you've lost them. You have to wait another year for maybe trying to sell them shit, and it's
exactly. So you have to have all your literature there. And I mean, I got rid of everything. So, I handed out hundreds of, bookmarks and my my bump, it all went out. But Tara, just to say, the biscuit community was great because so many biscuits came along, and it was so exciting. It was really great. And obviously your own support and the factory support has, I think, I don't know if it would have done it without that. And then the girls in the group as well. So that was huge, having that community was
and
major.
It makes it a different journey, doesn't it, Karen?
It's less lonely.
And for people to say, keep at it, Karen, do it. Don't be afraid of it. Go and do it. You're ready. Sometimes you just need someone else besides your family, your husband, to tell you that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it. It just gives you the confidence to kind of push on.
That's great, Karen. Well, I'm excited for you. Let everybody know what your website is before I talk to Fran.
So it's artistkarenhickey.com.
artistkarenhickey.com. I'll leave the link in the comments after this live stream if you want to go in and check Karen's work out online. She's done a brilliant update on her website recently. Thumbs up for that, Karen. Well done. It looks amazing. So you can check Karen's work out there, and of course on Instagram and Facebook as well. So well done, Karen, and looking forward to seeing you next year at ArtSource.
Thanks, Tara.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
Hey, Fran, how's it going?
Hi, well, let me just, sorry, my,
You're muted.
the little techie issues there. I couldn't see Karen on my, where I have my camera set up, so I'm watching it on the delay on the computer, so I missed the very end of it there. So I probably look a bit weird to people on the camera that I'm not laughing in the right place.
It'll be like those weird cartoons, you know, where they have the subbing of
the lip sync is out. Yeah,
yeah. So tell us all, Fran, about ArtSource for you. How did you get on?
It was definitely an eye opener. ArtSource was an eye opener for me. Let me just put it this way: I don't know what I was expecting from it, but like at my exhibition, everybody came in. All of my work was sold in 2 hours. It was bam, bam, bam. Woohoo! Wow! ArtSource is not like that at all. It's more of a slow burner, especially for high-end products. Like I found people are coming in to maybe not to spend €2,000 in one go. They're not coming in to. Nobody's just going to come in. They don't know you and just splurge on a big product like that. It's going to take them time to go away and think about it and stuff like that. So for me, I found. I think a lot of people took my information and then went off and had a little think, and then, you know, maybe come back on the Sunday or whatever. So I made loads of sales, loads of online sales as well. And then I sold lots of my original work, but just not in the way I was expecting. It was really weird, like, you know, and now I kind of know a bit better. I think it's like Karen was saying, it's people will save your information and come back to you. And I've actually already, this painting behind here sold the day after ArtSource. It didn't sell when I was there. And also, you know, I've also had 2 people come back to me now looking for work. It may or may not turn into sales, but I think my biggest takeaway from it would be to don't put too much pressure on yourself to actually sell everything there and then. You know, just kind of give yourself space to kind of talk and get to know people. I was talking the whole time when I was there. You know, if you could get paid with compliments, I'd be minted. You know, like, it is one of those things that, you know, that, yeah, it's just, it was very, very tiring though. It's very, it's not easy. If you're going to do it, you know, if you go in there with an open mind and go in there with, you know, try not to expect too much as well. Do you know what I mean? I think I put a huge amount of pressure on myself, and I ended up getting very emotional on the Sunday. You know what I mean? And then like all my original paintings went bam, 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 and they all sold then. Do you know what I mean? I felt like a bit of a tit then. I was kind of going like, oh boy, I let myself get really wound up. You know.
Expected too, Fran, like that's to be expected too, because it is an emotional process as well. Like you're putting every ounce of your time and money and passion and no sleep, and there's so much that goes into making that happen, that you get there and then you have to be on, and you're there for 3 days solid, talking, faces on, explaining, then trying to focus on. I mean, it's so heavy with all that stuff that at some point you have to cross some point, like, you know what I mean? So I think it's okay to you know, crash it if that's how you need to express your emotion around what's happening as well. And I think I think you've nailed something really important. And it's the whole mindfulness as well around what you're doing right now, rather than always thinking ahead of sales and this and that and this. I think to enjoy the time there as well. And it's very hard to do that, isn't it? But I remember being at your stand over the weekend and just stepping back, because there was 50 million people in your stand all the time trying to get a piece of you. And I just remember standing there going, holy feck, like everybody stopping going. And I could hear in the background, is that a painting? Is that a painting? Is that a painting? like all is like the shimmer of, is that a painting? Is that a painting? And they were like, oh, in awe. And I remember thinking to myself, can Fran hear this? Like, this is important for her to hear this. I don't think you probably did even let it in. You were so busy, like with lots of thinking about lots of stuff. But it's important to really focus on that too, Fran, isn't it? That the reaction was so strong, and for Karen's work as well. People were going, whoa, when they were, you know, it was you guys made a real impact, like, and it's not just about selling. Sure, it's not. It's the long.
And there's also that. I also notice as well, people get overwhelmed. There's so much there that the art actually becomes a little bit diluted because there's millions of artists there. They're walking around. They've been walking around maybe for an hour before they get to you, and by the time they get to you, they're like, I'm wrecked. Do you know what I mean? And if you can still manage to capture their attention, which actually happened several times when a few people stopped by and said, this is the first time I've stood anywhere for this amount of time, and you just actually made me feel so calm and relaxed just by standing here, and you're looking at your work. And you know, that was amazing to get feedback like that. You know, it really was. But of course I was standing there going, yeah, but you know, pay me for it. No, seriously, hands up, I did really want to sell more work. I did, but that's just me though. I'm really hard on myself, you know.
I know, but you will as well, and because you're ambitious, Fran, and that's a good thing. But it's also to let yourself enjoy those moments as well of people in awe at your work, and I think for both of you guys, you know, and I love that you're both so set up for online sales as well, that you both have websites and you're both so brilliant on social media. I think when you do all these things as a jigsaw, it'll all make a huge impact down the line. I'm just going to hop into the comments to see, is there any, there's a load of people in. So, hey, Weenie, how's it going? Rachel, how's it going? Denise, Geeta, how's it going? Emma, hiya, Emma. Niamh O'Connor is in. Anne Larkin says hello. And Niamh says, yeah, original art is always a considered purchase. She's right. Audrey Vance, how's it going, Audrey? Audrey asks, did they look for any grants to help pay for their stands? Did you guys get...
I didn't know. I just paid for it from, you know, because I had quite a successful exhibition in June. So I kind of had the few bought behind me. I didn't have to worry about that end, but I was very lucky. You know, there could be grants out there. You'd have to look into it, I think. You know, but it is something you kind of need to plan for. It is expensive. It is expensive.
It's expensive. Karen, do you know anything about grants?
No, I don't actually, and that is a good question. I'd be curious. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know.
It'd be interesting, even if you're watching the replay and you've done ArtSource, if you know anything about grants, you might share it in the comments below this live stream. And yeah, that's an interesting one. It also begs the question though, because I know how much time and effort it takes to get €50 of a grant. Like, it's a nightmare. It's super hard. It takes loads of admin work, and it's really hard to get grants. And just when you're preparing for a show like that, it's another huge area that you have to spend loads of time in. So it's always like, I guess we talked about this at last week's show, pre-ArtSource, of giving yourself a whole year to prepare. So I guess if you're that prepared, you could really put it into your plan of actually trying to get funding for your show. It'd be interesting to see. I must contact someone about that and see what's actually available. It'd be interesting to see if there anything. Denise says, were the costs transparent? How much did it cost in the end?
Ooh. So I can't tell now if Karen's speaking or not. I hope I'm not speaking over.
No, you're grand. You're grand. No flake away.
The costs are different for everyone, I think. So you have the cost of your stand. That's $2,500 as far as I remember. And then you've got everything else. So it's up to you what you spend after that, really. So you've got the cost of your materials. You've got the cost, you know, so you've got if it's painting, you got your canvases, your brushes, Are you doing prints? Are you doing calendars? Are you doing cards? That's all it costs. But they're things you can decide whether you're going to do or not. Then you've got, you know, all your outside costs. You know, what's it costing you to actually physically do this in the first place? So you've got your, you know, your childcare costs and all that. You know, the fact that you haven't taken on a job. For instance, I said no to loads of work, paid work, so as I could get this collection together. So, you know, instead of taking on that mural, I said no to that mural. So it all, yeah, it does. The costs are fairly transparent. The only thing that you kind of get caught with in the end is the electricians at the very end where you get your lighting, because they only supply 2 spots and you have to buy more lighting. There's no way, there's no 2 ways about it. So I wonder why they don't just include that in their cost and give you the extra 3 lights that you need. I don't know. And then, you know, then there's the plug as well. Do you want an extra plug? And that's, you know, it's not a huge cost, but I got the plug. I didn't use it once. Just so you know, if anybody's wondering, you know, you're worried about your phone or your sum up machine. I didn't run out once, you know, so just they're just little things, you know.
But they all add up too, don't they? Karen, did you use your second plug, or did you get more light?
Well, I had my little fairy lights, so I did use the plug, but I didn't need it for my sum up or my mobile. But I think it was just a good to have it there in case you need to charge a drill or something like that. But it's true, Fran. I mean, they only bring you with the electrics at the very end, just when you're out of money and you're like, more money. Like, but as Fran said, you do need the extra lights. I ordered 3 extra spotlights, and it was fine actually. But it's just, you know, when you think you have your budget sorted, and then suddenly you're whacked with another bill, like. But you know, so if you know these things in advance, and at least, you know, we'll know, and we can tell other people too, just to kind of have it on your list. I mean, I'd be happy to share my list with any biscuit that's doing it next year.
Brilliant.
I mean, I know it won't be exactly the same, but it would just be a guide of, you know, I have a very long list of things that I had to get through, and you know, just everything is on it. So if anyone, I don't mind sharing that with anyone who might be doing it next year. So it's just bits and bobs that you might forget otherwise.
It's kind of like organizing a wedding, isn't it? Like,
kind of, yeah.
You know, you need all those things. It's like an event thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It is, all the little things, down to the smallest detail. Yeah, even what bag you'll bring, and you know what, you know, it's tiny little bits and bobs that you just need to remember. So.
Chewing gum.
Deodorant, yeah. Jesus, I could have done with that more of that.
Osreen says, for the first year, I got a grant. Great. That's interesting. What grant did you get, and from whom, Osreen, if you're still in watching? It'd be lovely if you shared that. And Denise asks, were the costs... Oh no, that was, we answered that already. Was someone else going to say something? Oh, hang on, I knew I wasn't going bananas. Neve says, were you pleased with the stand sizes and lights, etc.?
Yeah, I thought the stand was great. I was very happy with the stand, and I thought I had too much stock, but as gaps were made in the stand, I was able to then refill those gaps, and it was perfect. Yeah, cool. It was, for me anyway.
And for you, Fran, did you like your stand set up, or would you have liked a different kind of stand, or what did you think?
Oh no, I thought it was great actually. I thought the stand was a good size. Yeah, it was just nice. I think it would be smart if you know you're definitely going to book Artsource. I would book it a little bit early. I would get an end of row stand, definitely, to have that extra sidewall. Now, Karen probably said this. I can't hear her. I'm sorry.
No, she didn't. She didn't.
I would also move into the middle a little bit more. So I'd move down the end. I'd get an aisle stand, because I did actually notice that people kind of cluster at the end of the aisles, because they're kind of turning left, or they're turning right, or they're walking up and down. So I think you might get more eyeballs on your work, possibly that way.
Yeah, actually, Fran,
because it doesn't cost any more to get that side wall, you know. And you think that there's loads of room that you might not use it, but I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Because I ended up with a car full of stuff, and I ended up having to keep going in and out. And you know, as something went, I'd go out and get another piece and bring it in. Having said that, that also looks good.
Yeah,
seriously, the lady beside me was up and down. You want to see her now? She wasn't selling the stuff, but she was walking up and down with huge big paintings. It looked like she was selling loads of stuff, and it does look good for it just kind of creates a buzz or something like that. But anyway, I would get an end stand, and I would next time, and I'd book a little bit earlier, so I have a little bit more choice.
cool. And Karen, what do you think? So you were going to say something there.
Yeah, sorry. The only thing I thought was on mine. Me and Fran were on the same kind of line, but I thought that was quite a narrow corridor, and I wonder if we were on some of the other lines. Kind of had a wider kind of an avenue, as it were, between them, and I think people might be able to stand back and see your stuff better if they're able to stand back more. I felt it got quite cluttered where we were. Yeah. So I might look for somewhere that has a bit more space so people can see your work better. So,
and even where the cafe area is and all the stuff there, everyone's kind of mulling around there, and you can really see. You see those people a lot because they're right slapping in the middle.
And yet, I noticed with some people around that area that people were queuing up for coffee and they were blocking their stands. So so I don't think I would want to be in that big thoroughfare because it was very busy and people not looking at your stuff because they were just queuing up for tea and coffee.
They were in a different mindset. They were going, oh my God. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. So from that point of view,
brilliant. I just want to read one or two more comments and we'll go then. God, the time goes so fast we could talk for Ireland, sure. Hey, Anna Dorado, how's it going? Anna says, guys, I thought your stands and work looked super. You were super prepared. Some people had better spots. The middle was amazing because you see the work as you were having a break. So that's funny that Anna says that as well. So there's two sides to that, really, isn't there? That's interesting. Osreen says, so this is Osreen who got the grant, says, if you were on the back to work enterprise allowance, you were entitled to €2,500 grant. Wow. Cool. See, that doesn't apply then to some people, actually. But if you were, that's amazing that they do that. That's brilliant, Osreen. Thank you for sharing that. Feckin' hell, that's the price of your stand sorted, like. Brilliant. Okay. So that's it. Lads, just before we go and before I sign off, Fran, tell us your website again, just for anyone that wants to look at your work and purchase online.
Okay, yeah, it's www.franhalpinart.com.
Brilliant. Okay, and I'll leave the link in the comments below this live stream. If you're watching the replay as well, go check the girls out. Lads, you know how proud I am of you. I think you're both amazing. And I think you have a very successful career as artists ahead of you. You're both super smart, you're passionate, you're on the ball, and you're just so lovely as well. It's hard not to support you, like. So keep it up and well done, and keep creative, and talk to you soon again. And no doubt next year when you're getting ready for Art Sauce, we'll do another get ready and aftermath as well. And no doubt that'll come around super fast. So thanks a million for hopping on this morning, gang, and I'll talk to you soon and see you inside the factory. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Tara. Bye.
Bye.